A press conference of Trump's went pretty poorly when he was addressing the tragic murder of a National Guard member and then the shooting of the other National Guard member who is still currently in the hospital. And a reporter asked a question and Trump gets, in his typical manner, really upset with the reporter and starts saying, "Are you stupid? Are you stupid?"
A question about this tragic shooting in Washington, D.C. U.S. officials say that the suspect worked very closely with the CIA in Afghanistan for years, that he was vetted, and the vetting came up clean.
He went cuckoo. I mean, he went nuts. And that happens, too. It happens too often with these people. You see them. But look, this is how they come in. This is how they're standing on top of each other, and that's an airplane. There was no vetting or anything. They came in unvetted. And we have a lot of others in this country. We're going to get them out. But they go cuckoo. Something happens to them.
Your DOJ IG just reported this year that there was thorough vetting by DHS and by the FBI of these Afghans who were brought into the U.S. So why do you blame the Biden administration for what this man did?
Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here, and you're just asking questions because you're a stupid person. And there's a law passed that it's almost impossible not to get them out. You can't get them out once they come in. And they came in, and they were unvetted, they were unchecked, there were many of them, and they came.
So a lot of what he's saying is not true. Here's what happened, and I covered this before we went on break, but you had this shooting happen. Horrible. 2 members of the National Guard, 1 woman has died, was killed, and immediately, kind of MAGA world, as we reviewed, jumped into this is Biden's fault or this is the Democrats' fault. And then as we learned about this individual, it ended up they were an Afghan national who had been granted asylum in the United States. They were initially brought in under the U.S. allies thing, people that we had worked with in Afghanistan while we were militarily involved there were able to seek asylum in the United States because we feared they were going to be killed for working with our military by the Taliban. And so the guy who did the shooting ended up being one of those people. The name is Ramanullah Lakhanwal. And he was one of those people, came in 2021. So then they go full court press. This is Biden's fault, right? The whole politicization thing. But then we learn it was under Trump's term, this term, that the guy was granted asylum. And so that's what the reporter brought up and why Trump got so upset. And it kind of is another reminder of why it's so sick to politicize so quickly as opposed to just having a heart for what happened, feeling the pain of what happened, and then wanting to see an investigation to figure out why it happened. And this could have been a case where by every metric, the guy would have been at risk in Afghanistan. He did work with the U.S. government in some way in Afghanistan, so we didn't want him to be targeted by the Taliban. So then he got, even under Trump's administration, granted asylum, and then got radicalized in some way to do something horrific. Both those things can be true. You even have Bondi saying the fact that he was radicalized in this country, we are letting Secretary Noem handle that from Homeland Security. She is working on that. And so that's the sequence of events and why Trump got so irritated is, as we learned more about this, it wasn't a clear cut, Biden just opened the door wide open and no vetting. And that it's like, well, you were the one who granted him asylum, or at least your administration. So maybe we shouldn't have made that the priority the 2 seconds after something horrific happened.
Very much, everybody. Go ahead.
Afghans, do you believe that
about this asylum claim that is being floated? Of course, you just detailed that this suspect was flown in under the Biden administration.
Yeah.
But was he granted asylum under your administration?
When it comes to asylum, when they're flown in, it's very hard to get them out. No matter how you want to do it, it's very hard to get them out. But we're going to be getting them all out now. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, so not really a meaningful statement. Now we move on to something less intense, which is during one of these pressers, Trump got stuck on the word artificial in artificial intelligence.
Building plants, we're building.
By the way, while we continue through this, please do, if you appreciate the show, click the subscribe button. It is free. All it takes is a click, and it supports what we do.
Building plants, we're building factories, auto factories, AI plants, the whole thing with artificial intelligence. I don't know the word. I've never liked the word artificial. I don't know what artificials are. I think they ought to change the name. I've always said that's a lousy name to have, artificial anything, but it's a big business.
He said he doesn't know what artificials are. He doesn't know what artificials are. How would you want us to describe intelligence that is not conscious and is not human, but is exhibiting intelligence? I feel like artificial is the right word, but you don't know what artificials are, which really makes you wonder what you think artificial means. Now, one other little lighthearted thing. Y'all, just on my screen, scrolled down to the comments of this post I'm about to show you, and it got dirty. It got dirty fast. Here's why. Grant Cardone, a MAGA guy, said, just spent the evening with Trump at Mar-a-Lago. His stamina is unbelievable for any age. Trump's stamina after I spent the evening with him was gobsmacking. He went all night long, I guess is the point by Grant. And I'm not going to scroll down because the video would be restricted, but some of the images people chose to put in the comments portrayed what type of stamina they thought that Grant was talking about. That is today's show. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. It was a long one. Had to get back so long, so much stamina. Had to get back to it after the break. We are back though. Hooray, Hoo-yah Navy, etc. Podcast listeners, don't forget to rate and review. And then on the bonus show, it blows my mind that so many people, we have 2,000 members, okay? 2,000 people pay to get extra content. Amazing. They support the work. It's awesome. We get usually around, whatever, I'm not going to say a number, millions of views, okay? Each week. So it kind of blows my mind that you have millions of people out there who think they know this show. Y'all think you know it, but you really don't. Because what happened on the bonus show is so sacred and so secret and so wonderful that I really think you should join us. Click the join button. It's usually next to the subscribe button. But if for some reason your browser doesn't show it, in the description, you'll see I want to become a member. There's a link. You can click that and it'll bring you to the membership page. And then you can watch hundreds of bonus shows. They really only started getting good like 100 ago, probably. But lots of them. We do it every single day. It's amazing. Thank you all. Much love. And I'll talk to you next time.